Let us pray.
Dear Lord Father, we bow ourselves in your presence on this particular occasion to give you thanks and honor as you allow us to be here at this moment for the conference, press conference. We ask you, Lord, to be with us and to guide us and to lead us. Everything we have to say and everything we have to do be in your heart. Come from your heart. We ask you, Lord, to bless each and everyone who are here at this time. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Go back.
Pardon me?
Go back to this.
Press back. Yes, press back. Good, exactly.
Good day, Bahamas. Good day to the world. Good day to everybody that's doing this press conference. My name is Ruby Georges, and I'm the Director of International Affairs for Rights Bahamas. Today it is a great pleasure to be here at the Bahrain. Oh, you want to do speak into this? Oh, this guy.
So take over the phone. Let's speak with the mic.
Good day, Bahamas. Good day to everybody viewing this press conference. My name is Ruby Georges, and I am the Director of International Affairs for Rights Bahamas. It is a pleasure for us to be gathered here today at the Bahrain Evangelical Church, Roosevelt Avenue. Today marks a beautiful day in the Haitian community in the Bahamas. We gathered here today because there was a newly formed organization which you're going to learn about today. In the wake of Hurricane Dorian, members of the Haitian community and various organizations decided to come together so that we can bring relief to the Commonwealth of the Bahamas and to help with the rebuilding exercises. I'm now going to turn over the podium to Mr. Robert Jedode, who's going to tell you guys all about this organization and why we formed.
Good morning. Good morning, Bahamas. My name is Robert Jedode. I represent Queen of Peace, Roman Catholic Church, Haitian community, also Truth, this is a coalition of Haitians in the diaspora, an international organization. What is UHCF, United Haitian Community Front? United Haitian Community Front is a committee that is established for, what Ruby stated, to assist in the massive work of dealing directly with the victims of Hurricane Dorian in the Bahamas, mainly Freeport and Abaco, where it was hit, devastated, and some would say decimated. And I've had a chance to travel to one of the places being Abaco, and believe me, it is timely that we came together. It is known in the Haitian community, and it's a part of the flag that union fait la force, with unity there's strength. Unfortunately, in the past, we've seen a lack of strength because of the lack of unity. So we decided that we'll bring persons from all sectors, different churches, various different backgrounds. You have the introductions are made from the Protestant, Catholic committee, churches, private sector, human rights, and business leaders coming together under one committee and partnering up with United Haitians of Bahamians, United Association of Haitians and Bahamians in Bahamas, UHAR, in order to assist the government and the international community in all aspects of dealing with the Hurricane Dorian and the effect it has had. That this is the first in terms of having this widespread devastation, cost of human life. And we can even estimate the cost, the financial cost will be attached to it. But it is also unprecedented, the amount of persons that came together to say, we will not be finger sticking this problem. We're going to form a fist and strike a blow. Now I'll turn it over to the chair, who's Dr. Jean-Paul Charles, who is the pastor here at Bezray Evangelical Church.
Thank you, Mr. Robert, and also thank you, Mr. Ruby. And good morning to all of you this morning, and good morning to the world. As Brother Robert has said, Dr. Charles, Jean Paul, the pastor of this church, and also the president of the Haitian Pastors League, where we are 73 pastors in Nassau, and also Freeport, Iludra, and the Family Island. And this morning I'm just going to, by the grace of God, and I'm also the chair of this, this group, this United Haitian Community Front. I'm going to present to you the different associations and groups that are decided to come as one. And we have, I'm not going to introduce you. Yes, I'm just going to tell you, we have 7 Adventist Church. You just want this result as a civil, okay, not too far. And also we have also the journalist, Mr. Wilson Antoine, and also we have Mr. Lunes, also represent VIAMO, that's Vision Haitian and World. We have also Oscar Miloren, who is in charge of the radio diaspora. We also have General Wilson Celestin, that's Havila, and we also have Josie Nicholas, also representing Havila, and we also have Moses Laos, also represent different group, and we have and Miss Tiffany Stifler, who just came, and some people will join us as we continue this conference. And also we have a global 99.5, and also represented here by Mr. And Miss Lady. And also who has okay, just came, okay, I'm sorry. On the flip side, Mr. Frank, we just working at the same, okay. And also, I think that's, we have also General Tavis, he hasn't come yet, also different, we have different other groups, I think they live, some of them at work, and they say they were going to be there, but anyway, but we, the majority of us, I can say 99% of us, we are here this morning, as Mr. Robert and Louis said, just to united, just not to think about ourselves, but to think, as we can see what happened in the Bahamas, and we just come and to tell the world and also you that we are working together with the government and see how we can restore the lives in, as you know, in this country.
So at this time, thank you, Pastor Charles, and also thank you, Robert. At this time, we're going to turn it over to you guys to pose the necessary questions that you may have for us.
Yes. One of the questions is, right now deportation is suspended, but there is the fear that after deportation is suspended, displaced nation will be sent back. Is that a prayer that you have, and what type of work do you want the government to take to help with displaced nations? Translate the deportation is suspended, the deportations, but there is the fear that they will be sent back to Haiti after suspension. Is that a fear that you have, and what route do you want them to take to
To answer that simply, we have formed 10 subcommittees. We have 10 subcommittees under our executive board, ranging from dealing with health issues to identification of persons who are currently in this place. The area of deportation is not one of the areas that priority to deal with because we're still assisting with recovery and not rescue, and even rescue in some cases, leaving Abaco. We're still hurting persons, pockets of persons on keys and cut off by the bridge from the mainland Abaco. That is one issue that we've always been dealing with. Different organizations have always been dealing with it. We'll continue to deal with it and assistance with the government, the pastors, the legal pastors, Rights Bahamas. We constantly deal. It becomes unprecedented amount of persons who will be affected. We'll continue to deal with it in the manner that we've dealt with in terms of deportation. The only thing we've done in that area is to advise persons that that can be a priority for them. That can be priority for themselves in terms of compared to their health issues or getting immediate aid or helping us with recovery. The fear of registering, and I think that didn't make that point, I think of registering your name because it may bring you into the system. I think that's minute compared to the fact that you may not get aid that you deserve and need, or assist in recovering, getting missing persons removed, getting a person removed from missing persons list, or getting a person put on the list of persons who are not missing but actually dead. So at this particular time, this week in crisis mode, it's not one of the top 10 things that we're focusing on.
Please state your name. My name is Stephanie Sinclair. I'm the president of. Come down. Stephanie Sinclair, president of Human Rights Bahamas. During the crisis, what Human Rights Bahamas have been doing with NEMA, we've formed a group, Abaco Relief, and we were having families send in the names of their family members and pictures. And so far, I think I've sent 3 pages into NEMA, stolen into 309 so far. And we're still continuing to gather names of missing persons, continue sending these names to NEMA. So for what I've documented, I know there might be other people who are also assisting them with this. So far, we have documented 309 so far. Exactly. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to respond to that.
Sorry, so 309 missing.
309 that I've reported so far are missing. I can send that information to you guys. That's the majority of that.
I know a lot of persons from the community is not in shelter. It's a group for them to find long-term housing accommodations for these people.
Right now, what we've been doing, we've been assisting every shelter. We've been making contact with the administrators of the shelters. And they call in just and report certain things that let's say, example, Foxhill, they call and say they don't have safe population factors. However, we're able to assist them with supplies. That's what we're doing right now. Like the most important thing right now is making sure that there are still people, like right now as we speak, the landlord just called me and said that there were 50 persons that were housed there, and the person who put them up cannot afford to house them. So right now, that's a priority for us to find shelters for these 50 families right now.
Is the goal in the long term to have them return to Abaco with your assistance? Is the goal to have them return to Abaco with the group's assistance? I know one of the big concerns of the government was the shantytown aspect. Is the goal to help them assist to form more suitable accommodations in Abaco? Is that the long-term goal?
My name is Edward St. Fleur, pastor for Maria and Breath of Life Sebastian Methodist Church. In response to your question, we cannot say emphatically what the government will do with the mud area. That is up to the government. We are focusing on seeking to help the people rebuilding their lives, especially in the area of education a number of kids are presently in Providence, and yesterday the process has started. Registration took place to have the children placed in school in Providence. And some of us were there because there was the language barrier to complete the form. So we're grateful, even though the task is huge. We believe that God is able, and we are up to the task in seeking to help the government to cause our people to rebuild their lives again.
There's quite reports of discrimination, and we heard some person saying that because they have Haitian background, Haitian descent, there was a level of discrimination at the shelters, and even in terms of getting assistance. Have you all heard any reports of that, and how do you respond to that?
Personally, I've not experienced that in the places that I've assisted at PMH Social Services. The reception has been very cordial, and I must commend the staff of both institutions. They're doing a fantastic job. When I think of the resources deployed, the clerical staff, persons are giving themselves. Some persons didn't even go for lunch in trying to assist. Yes, we may have pockets of things happening, but by and large, I think there are more positive things we can think of instead of bringing the conversation to a beginning level. We want to uplift people and give them hope.
There's quite a bit of humanitarian aid going into the country right now following the passage of the storm. What is this organization going to do to ensure that it's cut to help the Haitian community?
One of the things that I mentioned before, and I'll reiterate, we set up 10 different subcommittees, and one is logistics. I personally traveled after giving up my seat for 2 days in order to ensure that I would not disenfranchise someone from coming back the same day. So we didn't get, I personally didn't get there like 4 days after the flights opened up. We had an opportunity to go down there as a group of 11, and we no more than 2 persons ever went at a time. But I had to go in order to make an assessment. And what's missing is the logistics of the distribution in terms of, it's such a massive, it's not a criticism, it's a reality. I'll say again, reiterate one of the comments that Pastor Sinclair met. We have behaviors of non-Haitian descent putting in 10 hours a day from day one of the hurricane. And it was just unbelievable. It's unbelievable that we're working as volunteers. So most of the discrimination and the negativity, I've seen a little bit of it. I don't have the time to read as much as what I've heard. People are reading or following up on social media. A lot of it has been dispelled, and something's over-exaggerated. We do have part of our team who will do some sort of research and say, no, that's a photo from 2016. That's been filmed in Africa, and those things we dispel in our groups. But the logistics, we're doing what the government is doing. After leaving Africa, we flew into the U.S., met with persons who are going to come in and they say, what do you need? We need logistical help. Because we need help, literally more boots on the ground. The persons who are qualified, and those from the Haitian community, which we are doing, get into those pockets and to separate the reality that nobody is there, because we pockets of persons there who need help, and we've identified, especially in the Marshall area, a number. So the idea that nobody's there, don't send aid, is not true. We've got people to go down there, and actually the persons who are down there, I can find it. The Bahamians of non-Haitian descent were able to take me after 2 rounds to areas where there were Haitians. They were feeding, and they were taking aid too. So that's on a small level. But on the longer level, of course, the government has already named 2 persons in the name of Jack Thompson and Cargill, and along with the administrators, the island administrators, who are planning the logistic efforts of the reconstruction.
And also, we have a contact with HANA. HANA is the Haitian American Nurses Association. They are a dozen. They are sending a team. They already sent few of them to last week just to do some assessment to see how they can help. Right now, they are sending the credential, the nurses license to the government before they we've been around, to help. Thousands of Haitian nurses, doctors from US, and also we are in contact with some of doctors, nurses in Canada, and all over to see how we all can get together and end this, tragic crisis. As I think, as a simple said about yesterday, I like Miss Lady Tito. She was the one, and myself, I was there too, and she will tell you yesterday what we did.
Good morning, Bahamas. My name is Tabby, Lady T from Global 99.5 FM. Yesterday was breathtaking. I was there yesterday when I got there. It was a lot of kids that needed help. The minute I reached, everybody was like, wow, can you translate for us? And I went in and I started to fill up the forms and translating. And I must give a special thanks to the Minister of Education for doing an awesome job yesterday. You know what? They treated everybody like they were equal. Social service did the same thing. Minister of Health did the same thing. They just didn't even care about the documents. If you had the national insurance card, passport, or whatever, they just wanted everybody to be registered. And that's the only thing that they cared about. So I really, really want to give a special thanks to all of them that, stick there and stay there. And even though, like somebody said that when lunchtime came, they didn't even eat lunch. I saw a lot of nurses that when the lunch was there, they didn't even eat anything. All they were doing is calling me to translate for them and helping them out and wanted to make sure that everybody was fine and everybody did what they came there to do. Thank you.
Can you sit really louder? And also, I'm sorry, I forgot to present also Dr. Exerte is commanded the New Mission churches in the Bahamas, and also the two biggest churches we have in Nabaco. This is the pastor over there. If you're able to come up to the one, that's why.
Addressing mental health.
Thank you very much. It's a wonderful question. As you are aware, many, especially the children, they have been traumatized, and we have an organization that's ready to assist us in providing counseling, either one-to-one or group counseling, so that we can help them to debrief, to get into the proper mind frame to continue their education. That's for the children. And of course, the parents. One of the persons that have been assisting us, Pastor Barrington Brennan, he has put up this particular flyer, Emotional Wellness After a Hurricane, from which we gathering a lot of material in order to help our kids and adults with their mental health so that they can remain stable and function optimally as a citizen or resident of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Any contact with the individuals who stayed behind in March Harbor? I know some folks didn't evacuate. How did they cope?
I'm going to Dr. Exote. He has two biggest churches in Mashaba. And also we were supposed to go get the Haitian pastors from Mashaba, all of them in Abaco, all of them are here. And we were supposed to get them, but they seem not coming yet. They're not
Good morning, Bahamas, and good morning, everyone. It is our joy to be here today. My name is Bishop Dr. Exante Charles. I'm the president of the New Haitian Mission Baptist Church in Nassau International. So I have two churches in Maushaba, one in Maushaba and also one in Trejiki. Both was very damaged. The pastor is Maushaba, is called Pastor Etzel Mene. We tried to reach him at the devastation weekend, but Sunday he was here he was coming with his wife, and also most of the people from Mashaba and Trejiki are here. Maybe few might stay, not reach yet. So I think Pastor Etzel is one of representative of the Haitian embassy also in Mashaba, in Trejiki. He's here. So they are so sick. I was carried them to the hospital, and they have a good treatment. They are now at Town Hotel, downtown, because I'm not able to put them at the shelter. I want to make sure, he has a good treatment. So, and I'm trying to reach other people in Trejiki. I'm not able to reach them yet. But also I'm planning to travel like next week to Trejiki. I'm going to see how the rest of the people up there going. Because I have double plate in my hand. Double plate because I have two churches up there that damage, and also everybody is my people, Bahamian and Haitian. But reason why we are here at this organization to make sure to continue the process with the government and to work together, because we are one people.
Let me add too, because I think the question was, were we able to contact persons on the ground? Like I said, I did travel to Abaco. I wasn't able to identify with various pockets of persons, besides the ones on the dock trying to leave. The question was, how are they doing? Let me say it like this. I was there for about 8 hours, and I felt 10 hours in total. But after 2 hours, I felt like I had lived through a song, and I had been sitting there for 10 days. And you could have seen it on my face. I got to a point where I was doing some interviews, and I just had to cut off the mic. Just missed. Why did they stay? It's a big question. I think the jury will stay out, and I watched somebody who's been in Abaco for 35 years, and he goes, where would I go? I don't know nobody in Nassau. This is not an illegal, undocumented person. This is a person whose kids lives in the United States, but just happens to have no family in Abaco. I met someone who's been in Abaco for 40 years. He said, well, I'm living now in a church, but why go to Nassau to leave the church, which is livable, to go to Nassau when technically he's a complete stranger, doesn't have a relation. We watch persons come, their shelters overloaded, walking up and down the street, who don't have a place to go. Not everybody is connected with somebody in Nassau. So that's one of the many reasons. I'm pretty sure there's information out there, there's alleged persons that are documented, they didn't want to come into the system. Let me tell you, people are trying to get the hell out of Dodge. He said like that. And when someone stays there, most of them are older persons. That was amazing, but they said, there's nowhere to go. Well, there's no reason to live, as long as they can get some help. And that's like caucus and maybe various different reasons, but one of the reasons is the person don't have nothing they can relate to in Nassau. I think most of us understand island life. People have a tendency, Nassau is like, I guess, Abaco is a new hell, but Nassau is like hell. They come and they do what they have to do, and they go to bed, or they want to go back home. That's island. And that's Bahamians of Haitian descent, and Haitian residents living. They're not attached to Nassau. So one of the reasons some people, and then there's the hope that they would have built from scratch, and they can rebuild. So I've heard persons, Bahamians on island saying, on the phone, I ain't going nowhere. I'm just going to see if I can, I got to be here to rebuild. All right? what I want to reiterate, one other thing I want to reiterate, is that this organization has done everything it possibly can to invite absolutely every existing charity, organization, church, okay, or committee that we know who has helped or alleged to have helped or participated in anything dealing with the Haitian community, and who can lend a hand, and including organizations that are non-Haitian descent, to be a part of it, to see if we, again, have an impact on the recovery and restoration of the Bahamas, namely Freeport, Abaco, and Eleuthera. I've had calls from Eleuthera, and I know I have business down there, and haven't been able to go. So I'll turn it over to Luke Georges.
Yes, at the time we have space for 2 more questions if you guys have for us. We can take 2 more questions before we wrap up. Okay. Right. So we want to thank you guys for taking the time out to come here today. And I think we would be remiss if we did not state the fact that this organization, again, is not here solely for the Haitians in the Bahamas who were affected by the hurricane. We're simply coming together to lend our support to the government, the international organizations, and to everyone that has been lending their support, civic organizations, NGOs. We just want to be a part of the relief effort. We do not have here today with us a member of UHAB, as Robert would have spoken to earlier, but nonetheless, UHAB has been doing a great job themselves. For example, they've been taking person's clothes, taking to the laundry, they've been doing food drives, they've been doing a whole lot. So we want to thank UHAB, who's not here present today, but nonetheless, we want to say thank you for taking the time again to be here and allowing us to get this message out to the Haitian people, so that the international partners, the NGOs, the government, everybody knows that we exist and we're here to help everyone. Thank you.
And one final note again, we can't say how thankful we are for the help we've been getting, the prayers and the concerns from the international organization and the Roman Catholic Church out of Brooklyn, New York, and all the various different, all the churches that has affiliated churches here in the Bahamas have been reaching out and again strategically saying, what is the next step? What's the medium? What's the long term? How can we help? And we know that after 30, 40, 50, 60 days, that is going to get watered down. So we want to keep this alive because this is going to be a long term. So thank you for our present Pastor Reverend Francois from Brooklyn, our priest. He's here and he came down. This is his vacation time. And he's spent his vacation in the Bahamas, but not vacation. Thank you, Brian.
Nous allons nous avoir une quick prayer with associate lead us into a quick prayer, please, since we have invited God to be with us and He is, and we need to thank Him.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we are grateful to you for who you are. You are God, beside you there is none. Thank you for your mercy. Thank you for the leadership of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas in the person of Dr. Menace. May you endow him, along with his cabinet, the necessary wisdom to lead us in this difficult situation. Be with this newly formed organization as we seek to assist the government in rebuilding the lives of our brothers and sisters. Thank you for the press and the job that it is doing in informing the community of what's happening. May you continue to bless all of us. Help us to be faithful and save us at last when you come. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.